It's Marlon Speaks Live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive. Yeah, it's truth over comfort, I don't pick no side. If it shake the room a little, let the truth collide. Cause it's Marlon Speaks Live, no script, no disguise. I don't sell no lies, just to monetize. Cause the past still breathing and it never dies. Yeah, it's Marlon Speaks Live, now the truth will rise. Yo, it's Marlon.
Welcome back to another episode of Marlon Speaks Live. I'm your host. Man, just wanted to touch on something very, very, very dear and very, very relevant. But hold on, let me cue up, make sure my sound is right. Make sure everything is right. It look right. You know, if you come in here, like, comment, share, subscribe, interact with the video if you come in here today. Come in here. All right. Fix my screen. Hold up. There we go. Okay, yeah. So I'm just looking at what's going on in the black YouTube, you know, the black social media, you know, black American shit, right? Because that's what I try to focus on, black American. But I'm focused on us in an uplifting way. I'm focused on black American, you know, the stuff that's relevant to us in a positive way and changing the narratives. You know, the whole we're criminals, we're bad, we're inherently bad. We sell drugs, we commit the most crime. So I'm trying to debunk all of the stuff that Charlie Kirk was out here spewing, people like him. And this whole thing with this whole MAGA, everything that's going on politically in this country that's trying to revert and reverse everything that happened with our ancestors here, with the struggles that they have endured and all of the progress that was made in their generations. So just watching what I'm seeing on social media, man, and YouTube, it's the weirdest and sickest thing, but it makes so much sense to me that our people, black Americans especially, but black people, we could just say anybody of African descent, behave the way that they do when white people, ever since we've had contact with white people, with Europeans, and they have subjugated us, we have imitated them. That white superiority thing is only real if you believe it. It's not real at all, but it's only real if you give it power. And one way that you can guarantee to give something power over you is to behave like children do in a relationship with their parents. You know, children imitate their parents. Children, if they see their parents arguing, they get to arguing. So that's, the power dynamic is obvious. The kids, the little ones, imitating what the big ones are doing. That's the dynamic with the majority of black America. The majority of black America that don't know who they are, for one, don't want to know who they are. And just, it seemed like with this technology, it has gotten worse because the loudest and the most degenerate of black Americans are the ones that's using the technology. Now, the majority of us probably don't even know how to work YouTube, don't know how to work social media. The majority of black Americans are minding their business, going about their day. They don't have a YouTube channel. They are not trying to create content. They are living their lives. purely. But so the face of Black Americans, it seems to be these loudmouth, degenerate, going back and forth, divide and conquer. And I would dare to say the same thing is for white America. The majority of white America, I don't believe, behave like Trump. I don't believe they do. But it's a part of the general white America that seem to me spiritually they're aligned with Trump, aligned with MAGA. They are aligned with MAGA. I would say spiritually, but spiritually in the Black community, what we see with social media, all the divisiveness, all of the tearing each other down, that's not the entire Black American people. They do not represent us. But seeing as though they are the loudest, it may seem like that, right? If you don't know no better, you watching social media, you watching YouTube, everything you see related to Black people right now, especially if you go online and just look at whatever's trending and it's involving any Black person, it's so horrible. But like I said, these people, what we're seeing is like Stockholm syndrome. We're seeing people imitating. That's how I interpret it. I believe. Hold on, somebody at my door. Y'all got a Ring camera? I love these Ring cameras. Oh, it's the mailman. It's the mailman. The mailman outside, y'all. The mailman outside. I see his ass. Sometimes I just look at these Ring videos and just be looking outside and shit. Look at my cars. But yeah, man, this divide and conquer thing that seems to be part of the white American, white European culture. It's, it seems like this is a part of their DNA. When you think about Europe and how Europe even came to be and what it really represents, what a lot of people don't really understand because they don't know history is that Europe and every country within that entire, that entire region, as far as latitude wise, so going east to west, that entire region that could produce the amount of crops that they were able to produce in that exact area, in that exact environment, and to have the farming capabilities that they were able to have to be able to produce all of the food necessary to support a thriving economy and a thriving people. That's what enabled Europe to have a surplus to enable them to have what they call specialists, people that didn't just live to eat to live, just hunt it. And, these people were able to do what we're doing right now, to be able to just talk, to be able to think, theology, theologians, science, all the different things that we really probably most likely take for granted these days. A lot of these things were able to thrive in a European place to the point to where in a whole European and Asia and parts of Asia and parts of Africa, Northern Africa. So these places actually started developing warfare. They were able to, have enough specialists to the point to where they could, focus on war. And so that's kind of like how Europeans became to be what we might think of as warlike, always at war, because they was always advancing, always because they had the capability to. Now, Africa, before Africans came in contact with Europeans, we did not, that wasn't part of our whole get up. We didn't have the amount of surplus of food to be able to focus on warfare like Europeans did. So our focus was, it's like anywhere that humans were before colonization, we reflected our environment. So in Africa, we didn't have the capabilities to go to war. War wasn't our thing. We focused more on relationships, on the power structure of who had the most influence, influential. And that's what you see with black people now. That's why we are the most powerful influentially in the world. That's our thing. Our thing isn't warfare. Our thing is influence, spiritually, relationship wise, who listens to it. That's why we get the most attention with speakers, with people who speak well and who orate very well. That's our lane. That's what motivational speakers. That's our thing. We get into the spirit of humanity because that's all we had. That's what we come from. Now, Asia, they represent a collective. That's why it makes sense for Asia to have what we call communism or socialism, because they needed a whole group of people to pull off what they was able to do, to feed the amount of people, but they needed a whole bunch of people to do it. Rice take a collective, a whole community of people to be able to even cultivate rice. And since that's their main crop, which is, is perfect for their region, that's why you have all the cooperative, type of systems that they have, which, like I said, communism, socialism. So, but back to the Black American thing, like we're Black America, we're out of our element, trying to go to war. That's not what we represent. We represent something totally different. And it seemed to me that Black Americans are imitating Black people are imitating white people because they scared to go toe to toe with what's really going on. I really believe the overall Black community across the world are shocked because this is not our thing. Trying to destroy each other, like literally annihilate each other, that's not what Black people represent. That's white people shit. We do not represent that. That's within their culture and their DNA. They want to do that, but we don't. But see, when they start doing what they do, here we go imitating them. Imitating white people. That's what I see when I look online right now. I see nothing but a bunch of Black people imitating white people, trying to be divisive. But see, how they play is on a whole different level. What they doing right now in Mexico, how they going up in Mexico right now and taking out them drug lords right at this exact moment, that's above Black people pay grade, especially here in America. That's above our whole concept of thinking. So as much as, all of these Black celebrities want to be going back and forth, man, look here. What's really going on in this world, they're not, it's a totally different world. But see, I look at it like they are imitating these white folks, these weak, uninformed Black people that don't know who they are in the first place. don't know that we are people made in God's image. We make people. Don't make no sense for no black person to be going against nobody. Not now. Before we were informed and knew who we really were, maybe. But you see more of it now than any time with black people online anyway. And I know, like I said, and this the disclaimer, they do not represent the majority of black folks. But it's just sick that that algorithm is being pushed. Hold on, y'all. I gotta hold on. Yeah, my bad. My daughter just got up. My 9-year-old just got up, and I heard her upstairs. I'm in the basement of my home. Heard my daughter upstairs. Asked her was she hungry. She said no. So I'm back, y'all. But yeah, man, let me get back on my train of thought. Actually, I want to share a video right now with you guys, and hopefully y'all enjoy this. It's one of my favorite people in the world. Still Black History Month, so you know, I'm gonna say we should rename Black History to God History, because that's what we represent. And this is the kind of talk that, you know, this special video is speaking on. So yeah, without any further ado, one of my favorite people on earth that ever lived anyway on earth.
Why should the black man in America concern himself, since we've been away from the African continent for 400 years, 300 or 400 years? Why should we concern ourselves? What impact does what happened to them have upon us? Number one, first you have to realize that up until 1959, Africa was dominated by the colonial powers, and by the colonial powers of Europe having complete control over Africa, they projected the image of Africa negatively. They projected Africa always in a negative light. Jungles, savages, cannibals, nothing civilized. And naturally, it was so negative until it was negative to you and me. And you and I began to hate it. We didn't want anybody to tell us anything about Africa, and much less call us an African. And in hating Africa and hating the African, we ended up even hating ourselves without even realizing it. Because you can't hate the roots of a tree and not hate the tree. You can't hate your origin and not end up hating yourself. You can't hate Africa and not hate yourself. And you show me one of these people over here who have been thoroughly brainwashed, who has a negative attitude toward Africa, and I'll show you one that has a negative attitude toward himself. You can't have a negative attitude toward yourself, a positive attitude toward yourself, and a negative attitude toward Africa at the same time. To the same degree that your attitude, that your understanding of an attitude toward Africa becomes positive, you'll find that your understanding of and your attitude toward yourself will also become positive. And this is what the white man knows. So they very skillfully made you and me hate our African identity, our African characteristics. And you know yourself that we have been a people who hated our African characteristics. We hated our hair. We hated the shape of our nose. We wanted one of those long, dog-like noses, you know. Yeah. We hated the color of our skin. Hated the blood of Africa that was in our veins. And in hating our features and our skin and our blood, why we had to end up hating ourselves. And we hated ourselves. Our color became to us a
literally hate melanin and this hair, this beautiful hair. I went to Clarissa Shields' fight last night, saw nothing but black, nothing but melanin, and I was so happy. I said, man, I wish I could see this every day, all day. You know, but the energy within the majority of our people is so off that it's impossible to live like that peacefully here in this country. It's so much what Malcolm X said, hate for each other, hate for self. That's because people don't know who they are and don't want to know who they are. Damn shame.
A chain. We felt that it was holding us back. Our color became to us like a prison, which we felt was keeping us confined, not letting us go this way or that way. And we felt that all of these restrictions were based solely upon our color, and the psychological reaction to that would have to be that as long as we felt imprisoned or chained or trapped by black skin, black features, and black blood, that skin and those features and that blood that was holding us back automatically had to become hateful to us. And it became hateful to us. It made us feel inferior. It made us feel inadequate. It made us feel helpless. And when we fell victim to this feeling of inadequacy or inferiority or helplessness, we turned to somebody else to show us the way. We didn't have confidence in another black man to show us the way, or black people to show us the way. In those days, we didn't. We didn't think a black man could do anything but play some horn, you know, some sound, and make you happy with some songs, and in that way. But when, in serious things, where our food, clothing, and shelter was concerned, and our education was concerned, we turned to the man. We never thought in terms of bringing these things into existence for ourselves. We never thought in terms of doing things for ourselves, because we felt helpless. And what made us feel helpless was our hatred for ourselves. One of the things that made the black Muslim movement grow was its emphasis upon things African. This was the secret to the growth of the black Muslim movement. African blood, African origin, African culture, African ties. And you'd be surprised. We discovered that deep within the subconscious of the black man in this country, he's still more African than he is American. He thinks that he's more American than African because the man is jiving him, and the man is brainwashing him every day, telling him, you're an American, you're an American. Man, how could you think you're an American and you haven't ever had any kind of American treat over here? You have never. 10 men can be sitting at a table eating, you know, dining, and I can come and sit down where they're dining. They're dining. I got a plate in front of me, but nothing is on it. Because all of us are sitting at the same table, are all of us diners? I'm not a diner until you let me dine. Then I become a diner. Just being at the table with others who are dining doesn't make me a diner. And this is what you got to get in your head here in this country. Just because you're in this country doesn't make you an American. And no, you got to go farther than that before you can become an American. You got to enjoy the fruits of Americanism. And you haven't enjoyed those fruits. You've enjoyed the thorns. You've enjoyed the thistles, but you have not enjoyed the fruits. No, sir. So I point these things out, brothers and sisters, so that you and I will know the importance in 1965 of being in complete unity with each other, harmony with each other, and not letting the man maneuver us into fighting one another. I say that again, that I'm not a racist. I don't believe in any form of segregation or anything like that. I'm for the brotherhood of everybody, but I don't believe in enforcing brotherhood upon people who don't want it. As long as we practice brotherhood among ourselves, and then others who want to practice brotherhood with us, we practice it with them also. We're for that. But I don't think that we should run around trying to love somebody who doesn't love us. Thank you.
Yeah, that was Malcolm X, the late great Malcolm X. And man, we need, everything he said is so relevant to this day. Like this very moment, everything I'm seeing on social media, our people going against each other. We'll go lick on these white folks' asses, though. We'll go suck out of their ass. Let some white person come around. Let some, especially these musicians, these rappers, let one of these record executives, movie executives come around. These foul folks that want to see them going at each other's throat, that love to capitalize on it. They lick their ass, literally. So yeah, everything Malcolm X was saying is self-hate that we seeing being displayed. And I know it's not just these rappers and these entertainers that's showing their ass online within our community that's against each other. It's in everyday life too. So it is a lot of black, especially Americans, that display this divide and conquer type of behavior on a day-to-day basis within our communities. Who are we most likely to be harmed by? Our own people, right? That's within every community though. So we can't just say, oh, that's only black folks. But see, by us being in the community, we understand, we can feel why that's happening within our community. It's a lot of, like you said, self-hate. But it's more so self-ignorance, not knowing. Like, a lot of our crime is related to poverty, to people not having, much. So, you get people, circumstantial type crimes, they hungry, literally hungry. And we understand it within our community. We don't agree with it, but we understand it. It don't scare us, to see, hungry people within our community commit crimes, to eat. It don't scare us at all. We understand it inherently. We are in tune with it. We have loved ones that live like that. So we're not necessarily afraid of anyone, that lives like that necessarily, right? It's just always if it happened to us, if it happened to me, if it happened to any one of us individually, that's usually when that changes, right? But overall, even if it do happen to us individually, we can say like, damn, I know, and so that's kind of like that thing that when Malcolm X speaking about, self-hate, hating your skin complexion, hating the texture of your hair, within our community, it's a lot of that, and we know what it is. We do know. Every one of us know, whether consciously or subconsciously, we know that it's some self-hate going on within our very being. A lot of us, if we do learn about it, we try to brush it off. We try to act like it's not real. But it exists, and it starts from a very young age in this world. I wouldn't even say just America, because even in Africa, that's where they sell the most skin lightening products, where people, just hate everything about their beautiful, original skin. We are the original. We are the baseline of human beings. We are the foundation. And everything else are mutations. So we are really the only people. Everybody else are literally our people as well. So that's what a lot of our people, I don't think they realize, and I don't think they understand why that's relevant. As we're in this Black History Month, we're seeing so much divisiveness within our community. It's almost unreal. And that's why I refuse to react to any of these divisive videos with our people. That's why I wanted to add a solution, because a lot of these YouTubers that's reacting to all of this BS within our community is doing nothing but fanning the fires. Even if they disagree with it, You know, even if you disagree with a certain piece of content, if you share it, you promoting it. So I refuse to share it. I refuse to. And, you know, I just thought about something because I always said that's kind of like how Trump even got elected in the first place, with people sharing it, whether they agree or disagree. By them acknowledging him and sharing it, it pushed them further into the algorithm. And I think whether Trump know that or not, somebody on his team realized that and capitalized on that. And that's what I would say the only way that he even got elected, as far as technology wise and using social media. Somebody on Trump's team understood that negative publicity is good publicity, you know, and that's pretty much what I see with these black entertainers, these, you know, our black Americans, the ones going at each other. They understand that, you know. But see, and that's why I'm not gonna fan the fire and react to none of the BS within our diaspora, within our community. That's why I added this solution, the Malcolm X solution. You can't hate the root and not hate the tree. Or it's the other way around. You can't hate the tree and not hate the root. You can't hate the roots of a tree, basically. Yeah, that's what the title of it is. We are the root. Black people are the root. We are the root of all humanity. In that video that Malcolm X was speaking on, he was speaking on black Americans being the tree, but Africa being the root, and how black Americans hate the root historically. You know, a lot of us from the time of Malcolm X have learned more about where we come from and have began to embrace it, especially in my generation. In the mid to late 80s, early 90s, we were all about, you know, black African unity. Like, I thought when we had this social media, I thought that we would, you know, unite all around the world and finally come to some type of understanding in our whole entire black African diaspora. But you know what? All of these internal, very old things that was handed down, this self-hate, these predisposed lies about each other, whether from Africa to America, from America to Africa, they started to override the idea or this technology that, damn, we just a click away from each other now. So what's keeping us from all the way uniting on a front that's so powerful to really help the world? Because the world, they are people too. But see, since we're like the parents in the relationship, see, so if the parents don't get their relationship right, the kids are gonna keep acting up. So we have to get our things right. It's very important that we do it for us, but everybody else will benefit. Everybody in this world will benefit when blacks across the world get our stuff together and start to lead them, because they are like our babies. They don't know no better. They cutting up, they acting out. You know, they using the tools at their disposal, which are great, big old great tools, bigger than African. You know, they have advanced. You know, all these different races, they have advanced nuclear weapons and all these different systems that just wasn't in Africa, right? But what we still represent that they cannot represent is that spiritual component that's more powerful than all of these things. And they represent our very being, what's embedded in our DNA. So that's something that I don't care how many weapons, how many systems, how many inventions. We represent a spiritual component. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And those of you out there that understand that, I know y'all know what we're talking about. And these are the things that we have to share. Once we come together, we have to export that to the rest of humanity and let them know they're sharing that. They are spiritual beings as well. They are not what they have been told. They've been lied to as well. They've been lied to as well. They only believe in what they see, especially the Europeans. They only believe in what their eyes can see. You know, they have too much like they worship themselves. They worship their skin at this point. They worship those blue eyes and their hair. They worship that. That's their God. And that's their shortcoming. That's their shortcoming. So we have to like, you know, once we get our thing together, and that's why seeing everything that's going on within our community right now, exactly today, like when I'm saying right now, I'm talking about right now, today. I go on YouTube and I see nothing but calamity. This motivational speaker going against this motivational speaker, this rapper going against that rapper. Then I see nothing but a bunch of black YouTubers reacting to it. Everybody eating though. Everybody got a bunch of millions and thousands and millions of views. Right? That's supposed to be good though, right? But see, this is what I always ask. What good is money if you don't have a soul? What good is money without a life? And I don't think a lot of us really understand what's really at play right now, because white people are trying to annihilate each other. And no weapons is going to save, like, it can't end well with weapons. So it has to be something else. Something else is the answer. I truly believe that spiritual component that our European and Asian brothers, they have it, but they don't have it like we have it. And that's something that we have to grab them and try to really save them from themselves. You know, because that's the position we're in. We're going to fuck around and go down with this ship, because we don't have the capability of blowing nobody up in black. There's no black country with no nuclear weapon. None. Y'all think that's by, by mistake? That's by design. You know, all these white folk, they scared we gonna do to them what they've been doing to us. That's what they really scared of. At the end of the day, that's what racism and all these systems is built on, them having fear that we gonna do to them what they have done to us historically. Right. But we don't even have that in our spirit. Like what they don't understand is they are our people and they come from us. You know, that's like a parent trying to kill their own child. You know, which in some instances, it is necessary to kill your own child. Yeah, especially if they're a threat. You know, but I don't advocate that at all. You know, it's something within us, that spiritual component, that I believe is the answer to all humanity's woes. But how can we share something with someone if we don't even know it for ourselves? And that's the dilemma that we are in. That's what Malcolm X was speaking about, as far as us hating what's within us. We don't even know what's within us to begin with. And then it's like we so confused because someone else told us who we were and we believed it. Someone else told us that we're bad, that we're inherently bad. We spoke. I met so many black brothers and sisters that feel the worst of themselves and portray that, and are so confused when you tell them that, no, you're good. You're good. I hear so many parents talking about their brand new babies and saying, my son is bad. My daughter, she bad. And they say it like they love it. Like, he's so bad. Like, no, call your child good. And so that's what our problem is. We think we are bad. We raise our kids making them think that they bad. You so bad. He's so bad. She's so bad. And guess what? They grow up to be the worst. They grow up to be the worst. They don't want to be bad. They want to be the worst. Yeah. If you simply say, no, you're good. That's my good son. That's my good daughter. I'm telling you, it works. If it worked one way, it worked the other way. And inform your babies who they really are. And tell them to teach the teachers. These teachers can't teach our babies who they are. No, these babies got to teach the teachers. Yeah, I raised my kids to correct these teachers. These teachers don't know who we are. They don't know we represent God in the flesh. They don't know that. Yeah, so you have to build our babies up from the inside out instead of pouring that same negative negative clothes on them, raising them to think that they just beneath, that they just bad, that they supposed to be bad. No, it don't work like that, man. Hold on, let me get to order this DoorDash for my daughter. You know what? I'm finna go upstairs. I'm finna cook. Shit. I'm about to cook. Look, y'all. I'm about to go cook this food. I'm out of here. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed the video. And yeah. Look, like, comment, share, subscribe. Trying to get to 1,000, baby. We still moving. We still grooving. I ain't quitting. Y'all not going. Nuh-uh. Nope. I'm not going nowhere. Nope. I'm not going nowhere. I don't care if y'all do hate yourselves and you want to project that onto me. You hate black people. You hate seeing this melanin. You hate seeing this gap. You hate hearing this melanated voice. I don't care if you do got self-hate and you think I'm supposed to hate myself. No, I know who I am. I project from the inside out. I'm a man made in God's image. I love what's within me. I love God. I love my version of God. That's what I represent. Yeah. So if you hate who you are, that's on you. I love everything about my melanin. I know what I represent. I know my purpose. Yeah. So I ain't going nowhere. Y'all not going to make me feel no kind of way. I don't care. I make these views. These views don't make me. I make the subscribers. Subscribers don't make me. I make it all. It don't make me. Yeah, it's something bigger at play, man. So, but yeah, if y'all enjoyed it, like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the hype, all of that. I'm trying to get into the algorithm. I'm really trying to get this channel up and running and popping. I got another channel. It's called Beats and Life that I do, and that's primarily about music. So go over there and check that one. That one monetized already. So this would be the third channel that I monetized, that I'm getting monetized. So yeah, I do this, man. And actually, if you are thinking about doing YouTube, hit me up. Let's build together. If you like the way my setup is, I'll share with y'all, give y'all some insight on how to build your own setup, and just try to give y'all some insight on how to not only weather and persevere on this platform, but to keep coming with some provocative content. Basically just being yourself, man. Just being yourself, not imitating no one else, not trying to be like no other channel. do your own thing, So yeah, I notice a lot of people on here want to start a YouTube channel. Majority of the people that subscribe to me are on the same level I'm on, or just a little bit higher, but are inspired by what I'm doing. So look, I'm inspired by what y'all doing, because if you subscribe to me, I subscribe instantly back to anybody that subscribed to me. So if y'all notice anybody that subscribed to me, I subscribe back, because I want to see your content, and I do. And I look at everybody that subscribed to me content, if they have any, and I usually interact with it, so, and I keep interacting with it, what I'm saying? I'm not just a one time, and I turn on the bell notifications and everything, so I can keep, coming back to it, and so that's what I want you guys to do, turn on your notifications so you be notified whenever I go live, whenever I do a video, you can see what I'm doing. And I'm still in developmental mode, I'm working, and I'm open to suggestions. So if anybody got any suggestions, see here, I got my panel up. So yeah, I got my chat up. If you want to chat anything right now, I'll chat back. Yeah, so that was it, man. I just wanted to give some solutions to all of this divide and conquer energy that I see within our black, diaspora, our entire community. Just give some solutions, man. A lot of our people seem to think that they know more than the past. It's like they think that they doing something that wasn't happening in the past. Guarantee you, when World War II was going on, it was a bunch of black folks fighting each other, hating on each other, trying to tear each other down, imitating white people, imitating them, but it's only the weak among us. And all of us aren't weak. The majority of us, if we don't know, we're trying to learn. The majority of black people are, if we don't know, we are trying to learn. So it's only the weak and uninformed within us who, like I said earlier, have been told they're bad their whole life and just don't want to believe anything good about themselves. And, usually when your parents raise you and tell you that you're bad your whole life, you really, will get mad at anybody that tell you you're good, because you love your mother. And if she the one that raised you, and your mother and father the ones that raised you and told you was bad your whole life, anybody telling you good it's like you going against my parents. And that's how a lot of people that was raised with hate look at people that's trying to show them love. They look at, no, you going against my parents. You going against the people that I love, that love me, that showed me this hate. So it's a bunch of different dynamics. It's not just surface level with our people. When you see them online going back and forth, it's deep. It's deeply embedded within these people. That's why they are at each other's throat. It's deeply embedded when you see them going back and forth. I remember growing up feeling it within my culture, within my neighborhood, the people that I grew up with. The ones who were being raised and told they were bad all the time, those were the ones raised in all the hell. The ones who was raised with love, like my parents raised me and my three brothers, we wasn't being picked on, but we wasn't no bullies either. And actually, we fought the bullies. Yeah. And actually, the bullies in my neighborhood ended up being real cool with us and letting us know when we got grown that, man, I wish I had a daddy. I wish I had a mother that loved me. I wish I had a mother that, they come over to the house, eat a good meal. I had some dependable parents that loved us, that never told us we was bad, that always told us we was good, that gave us positive reinforcement. And that's what's missing within our community. I want to offer solutions. I don't want to keep piling on the problem. So look, like I said, if y'all like this content, man, Like, comment, share, subscribe. I'm out. I love y'all. Literally, I love y'all eternally. Agape. That's spiritual. Like within, I love everything about our people. If you got melanin, you a man or a woman made in God's and Goddess's image. You are a manifestation of God, literally. People come from you. These people talk about their inventions and their systems they created in the last 200-300 years of colonialism. We created man that started hundreds of thousands of years ago. They don't want to talk about that though. Yeah. So I love y'all, man. I'm out. One.
Smalling speaks live, yeah, I'm saying what they hide. History uncensored, let the real survive. Yeah, it's truth over comfort, I don't pick no side. If it shake the room a little, let the truth collide. Cause it's Marlon speaks live, no script, no disguise. I don't sell no lies, just to monetize. Cause the past still breathing and it never dies. Yeah, it's Marlon speaks live, now the truth will rise. Yo, it's Marlon.